In this video, I'll be checking out the Carlinkit Tbox Ultra. This is the new AO box from Carlinkit, which features a much faster Qualcomm 6350 chipset that has an improved CPU and GPU, which promises much better performance over their previous generation of 6225 chipsets, 8GB of RAM, 128 or 256GB of storage, an Android 15 operating system, and many more. So there's a lot to go over with this AI box. Let's first see what comes inside the box. Okay, so here's what you get inside the box. You get a quick start user manual. You get the Tbox Ultra itself. You get 3 means to power the adapter. You get one USB-A to C, one USB-C to C for more modern CarPlay ports in the car, and you've got a power pass-through cable for any USB port that doesn't have sufficient power to power the AI box. You also get a SIM card removal tool, which is a little bit odd because both card slots are actually exposed. They're not hidden away in a SIM card tray. The only thing this pin is needed for is to switch the box between Android Auto and CarPlay mode. However, that is for the alternative version of the Tbox Ultra. We have their version 2 of the box that they sell, which has the switch on the bottom to switch between Android Auto and CarPlay as well. Okay, so looking over the AI box then, it is your standard puck-like AI box case design. It's a lot thinner than most AI boxes, possibly thanks to that chipset and not needing as much sufficient cooling, or that it doesn't actually get up that much hotter either. So there's probably a smaller, more slimline heatsink in there. Regardless, this area here will get hot. It's a metal heatsink underneath, so that's the bit that gets hottest. No perforation holes other than the very extremes of its edges on both sides. Nothing on one side, but on this side we've got the business end where you've got USB-C to power the adapter, SIM card slot, and then you've got a TF card slot here. And as I said earlier, you've got this little button here that you can press to switch between Android and CarPlay protocols that you want to run the AI box on. Carlinkit branding on top. This glows up in a color once you actually get it up and running. Glass panel up top, that's obviously going to help with cooling as well. And that is the Tbox Ultra. So I'm going to get all the necessary test apps installed onto this adapter, do a couple of benchmarks, and then I'll see you in the car for the demo. So I'll see you there. Right, so in the Cooper Born, and we've got the Carlinkit Tbox Ultra here ready to get plugged in. We're going to plug it in and see how quickly it takes to boot up. Okay, plugging in. And that's us into the main menu interface. I've chosen style 1, I believe. Style 2 is default. It's a little bit more richer, but style 1 doesn't have any applications loading into it, so it's the fastest you can get into its main menu interface. So similar quick step main menu interface here. You can already tell that the faster processor is allowing me to go through this in a very nice buttery smooth way. Even though it is still 30 FPS, which I've tested with the FPS app. If I turn this on, you can see here it's roughly in the 25. It does go down, it fluctuates up and down, but that's also down to my display too. But my display can go 60 FPS, but you can see it's fluctuating between 18 and 20 on the main menu here. So here is the main menu interface. We've got a side dock here, which likes to be persistent, but you've still got a floating button of doom. It's a little bit styled differently, nice and simple, different iconography here as well. So it's a slightly more advanced version of the quick step that they normally use in their AI boxes. You've got the last 4 applications that has been used. Here is a home button basically, but it toggles Google Gemini as well. That's built into it for AI access. But if you were on style 2, that will take you back to the apps menu screen and the home screen. It will switch between the two. Clock, and you can't seem to pull down into Android, so you have to go into the settings area. And here you got again, slightly more richer experience in the settings app, but pretty much everything is pretty self-explanatory again. You've got more, which will take you to the stock Android 15 settings section. Then you've got some additional functionality here to change the LED. Turning the floating button on and off. Here we have the style 1, that's it underway. You can have light and dark modes if you want to. And that would switch it down to dark, which is a bit nicer, especially at night. You've got navigation settings, whether you want to have a particular app running in that box on Style 2 section. Here are the original settings. You've got stock car GPS that will reset the box and use your car GPS for location in Google Maps on the native platform, and other functionality to help with compatibility with your car. In the other section, you've got the hotspot mode, which is enabled to have the CarPlay connection and the Wi-Fi hotspot for Android apps working simultaneously. That's a common feature in AI boxes over the last year or two. You've got over-the-air updates, which is going to load the over-the-air app, and we're running the latest version. Just got to turn GPS on and restart the system. So while that's loading back up, we've got the 6350 Qualcomm CPU inside here. I've run a number of benchmarks using 3D Mark as well as Geekbench, and the 3D Mark score is obviously better in 3D, well, it's better Adreno CPU, and its 3D Mark score is a little bit improved over the 6225 chipsets and the Adreno 610, and it's now the Adreno 619 in this 6350 chipset, so it's a slightly marginal improvement. We've gone up from mid 500s up to low 800s, which is a little bit better than the Explorer Rocket Q, but it's nowhere near the M Gears and the Explorer Apple Pi Rocket, which have a different chipsets again with much more beefier GPU capability. Now, as for its single or multi-core performance, that's a significant upgrade, almost doubling the power of the 6225 chipsets. We've gone from low 400s to high 700s in single core performance, and about 400 points extra in multi-core performance over the 6225 chipsets. Now that makes it almost level ground to the M Gears G99 CPU, slightly under, but it's you're probably talking milliseconds difference in terms of its performance. Again, not the capability of multi-core performance in the Rocket and the Rocket Q, and again it is behind the M Gears G99 CPU as well. So as points go, if you total those up, it's roughly about 4th place in the fastest AI boxes that are out there, but a significant improvement over the regular 6225 AI boxes that are currently selling today for a similar price. So now we're going to go into our test apps. So we're going to fire up YouTube. And that's us into YouTube. Nice and quick. It's using a chunkier UI layout. It's not using a higher DPI, unfortunately. So everything is quite chunky in its artwork. But we can go into our test videos. Okay, so running at 1080p, it is a little bit janky. I was hoping it to be a little bit more better than that, a bit more optimized. You can see that the frame rate isn't as good. And it does stutter a little bit running at 1080 60. So that's a little unfortunate. I was hoping it to be a bit better than that, but let's try lip syncing and seeing if it's such a bigger deal breaker than its average frames per second in YouTube. Wireless CarPlay dongles have slowly progressed over the years, and we are now seeing makers switch their focus towards the 2-in-1 wireless CarPlay adapters, which offer the ability to also pair with Android Auto devices too. But that's for another video. In this video, I will That's okay. We are running 1080p, I believe. Yeah, 1080p 60. And I would say that's good. That's good enough. Lip sync just shows you that it's pushing a faster frame rate, but the frames are quite inconsistent. So if you're seeing it from that Twitch analytic point of view, it does look really janky, but in reality, when it's watching back video, you can see that the lip sync is actually on point. So I'll be happy with that. Okay, let's go into Netflix. And here we are in Netflix. Again, a bit more chunky DPI, unfortunately. So it's a bit harder to find your content.
The overtake on Valtteri created this spark and this tension between the two of us.
That was committed, it was brave, it was brilliant!
I thought, you know what, we're going to get it.
That sounds good. Nice and sharp, good quality, lip sync's good, everything's in stereo. Happy with that. Okay, so that's Netflix, all good in the video side of things. We'll just jump into Maps. That's us nice and quick and swiftly into Maps. That all looks good. No GPS pass through, but this is all nice and rapidly smooth. Runs really, really well. And with that beefier CPU, it's not going to feel as sluggish as most AI boxes seem to be. So happy with that. And lastly, we can try out Spotify. So that's us into Spotify. That all looks and plays fine.
Well, here we are, back on the hot, muggy streets of New York.
And you've also got all the wheel controls of that and the call button. That fires up the Google Gemini Assistant as well, and it can hear my voice nice and well, so that's good. And the music resumes as well. So generally happy with the overall functionality of those test apps there. Now let's check out gaming. We're going to jump into Crossy Road, see if we've got the audio bug. We've got audio, so now into Crossy Road. We've obviously got a little bit more, so you can see the shadows have stepped back there. So it can detect that there's a bit of CPUage that it can't really cope with. So we are losing the shadows there. But as you can see, it's playable. And I'm not worried about, it hasn't really glitched or stuttered as we've seen it before. But yeah, generally happy with that. But yeah, all those shadows have removed. So let's see if we can improve that. No, we can't turn that back on. So somehow it's detected and removed that to improve performance. And that's probably a good thing. Let's just quickly try Subway Surfer. So here we are in Subway Surfer. That all looks good. Plays well. Not any glitching just yet. And the touch input is relatively good too. So yeah, definitely be happy with that. Works well. And finally, Asphalt Extreme, so we're going to connect our controller. Okay, well, here we are in Asphalt Legends. It's running really, really well, really nice. It's looking really, really good. And not heard any stuttering as yet. And it's not downgrading the quality either, as we've seen on some of the AI boxes. Second. All right, so that plays well. Hardly any glitching there. Frame rate, I would say, is still in the low range of 30 FPS probably, but that ran really, really well with the controller. Totally happy with that. Let's check out some quality video. We've got 4K 30 here. It's not glitching. It's not stuttering. Seems to be playing relatively well. So it can definitely handle 4K 30, no problem. Additional functionality is you can connect your phone over Bluetooth. You can also call from the internal SIM using the phone app. So if you've got a SIM card installed, you can call from that too, as well as receive messages. And of course, you've got the Google Play Store, which you can actually get any application that you like from the Google App Store. And you also got Android 15, so you've got compatibility for a lot more applications that are limited to a certain Android OS. And then for CarPlay, you've got AutoKit. So this is their way of connecting to a iPhone or Android device to do wireless functionality. Turning this on will allow you to automatically launch CarPlay from the booting up of the actual AI box itself. But first you need to pair it with the adapter first. Okay, that didn't work. So we're going to restart the box.
A few moments later.
Enabling my Bluetooth, we're going to tap the option there to pair. Pair and allow. Connect to CarPlay. And now we're in. So a few issues there connection wise. You definitely need to turn off Wi-Fi. You can see here we are running a higher DPI than what my native system does. Everything is a little bit smaller. We've got 3 rows of icons here. So that's that. We should get a lot more widgets as well, though. There's a nice meal there. And yeah, so 3 widgets, a higher DPI. This seems to run okay. Seems to be all right. Let's do a direction. Okay, no pass through, which is expected. But this runs relatively well, actually. I've seen a lot worse. Let's check out some audio. So that's the delay of touch input. Wheel controls.
God damn.
Forward and back seems to work okay. Call button. That actually launches Siri. Send an audio message to test. Hi, this is Anthony from CarPlayLife.com. This is a audio message test using the Carlinkit Tbox Ultra, and this is an audio test. Okay, the music was zoomed. That's positive. Negative, I would say, is that the audio gain is slightly higher than sort of 0. You can only choose one. You can't even choose to turn it off. So unfortunately, there is a slight gain on the calling quality, but that's kind of a common trait with Carlinkit boxes and quite a few other AI boxes. Let's try out the call delay. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that was good. Good call quality and a good response rate as well. Happy with that. Okay, so that's CarPlay. Let's head over to Android Auto. Okay, here we have our Android device here. We've got a tap, pair, allow. That's us nice and swiftly into Android Auto. All looking good. Good resolution. It's not as high a DPI that CarPlay was. This is more native, looking for my car system. That seems to be responsive. Let's go full screen. This all looks quite good. Let's do a navigation. Okay, no pass-through support either on Android. That's expected. But the maps runs relatively well. It's not washed out. It's relatively as sharp as you can get at the moment, considering it's going through an AI box. Let's check out some audio. Nice and responsive. Seeking.
Damn, Jimmy, this some serious gourmet.
That works fairly well. Wheel buttons work just fine. Call button.
Hi, I'm Gemini, your AI assistant from Google.
Okay, that's Google Gemini.
With me to get more done. Remember to stay focused on driving safely when we're talking.
Yeah. Okay, that works. Call button works. That's totally fine as well. Yeah, good. Let's check out calling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, very happy with that call quality. Very good quality there over on Android, and it's good responsive rate as well. So really good there too. Okay, we can check out the top-down thermal imaging, and we can check out what the quality of the adapter is like. This is pretty good. You can see there's a little bit of peak heat on the very top of the casing, 34 degrees. If we flip it over, it's a little bit cooler, 31 degrees on the actual heatsink, which is a surprise. The heatsink should be a lot hotter than that. Yeah, some escaping out the top, pretty much self-explanatory. The heat's got to rise, right? So yeah, decent cooling there on the 6350.
Left channel.
Okay.
Left channel.
That's interesting. It's all coming out on the left channel, not the right channel.
Left channel.
So you're only getting mono in Android Auto. That's a first. And I did that after making a call. So I'm going to come out of this. No, it's not playing the right channel.
Well, here we are, back in the hot muggy
Yeah, the sound quality has changed because I've used the phone and it hasn't reverted back. So I'm going to have to disconnect and then disconnect from the box and reconnect. So we're back in, got stereo now after a restart.
Left channel. Right channel.
Okay, that works. Back to normal. But if I make a call, hello. I quit that. And I go back to audio.
Left channel.
Okay, that's working okay now.
Right channel.
It's back to stereo. Okay, so that's working now. That's such a weird one. I don't know why that happened. Pretty sure it was based on calling, but it did go to mono and it didn't come back to stereo. And it just went on that single mono track. And you could tell instantly that the sound didn't sound as good anymore, but it kind of fixed itself. That's weird. Let's do a boot test into Android and CarPlay just to make sure what those timings are. So we've got it connected to wireless auto connect. So we're going to connect now. This should auto boot into Android Auto. Okay, that's just the boot time into Android Auto. Connecting. Nope. And that's us into CarPlay. Third time lucky, but it just shows you that wireless connection is a little bit flaky at the moment. So the Carlinkit Tbox Ultra currently retails for $159 directly from their store. It's not currently selling on Amazon at the moment, but I'm sure it will in the future months. But I'll put links down below so you can learn more about this adapter, support the channel and buy yourself one. But as for benchmarks and performance, you've seen it works really well. It's nice and smooth. That 6350 Qualcomm chipset with the 8GB of RAM does make everything run a lot smoother, very similar to the M Gears in terms of its general experience. Do bear in mind though that the M Gears is Android Auto only. It doesn't work on the CarPlay protocol. I'm generally not a fan of its quick step launcher that CarLink uses. I do prefer the M Gears one with its persistent sidebar. Again, you can launch your own launcher if you prefer. Then you could give it a better UI experience running that better chipset than the 6225. We've seen that it's capable of 4K 30 content, and we do see that there's that frame rate skipping on YouTube, but the audio quality and lip sync is actually totally fine. So I'll be happy with that. Netflix is fine. The one downside is its wireless connection to Android Auto and CarPlay. Yes, it runs CarPlay in a much higher resolution. That's quite beneficial. But unfortunately, the DPI settings in Netflix and YouTube are a lot higher. So that's unfortunate as well. You could probably change that through its factory menu and changing the DPI that way. That should be a possibility. Let's see if that's possible. Yeah, you can go into the build number of the About section, and then you can turn on developer options, and then under system you can then go to developer options, and then under smallest width you can then set that to something a little bit higher, 720. Go into YouTube. Okay, with 720 it's a little bit much better now. You've got much more smaller icons per video. And the same should be reflected in Netflix. Yeah, so Netflix is better as well. You've got more tiles per view. You've got this crazy section here. It's definitely trying to force that mobile UI, but at least that makes it a bit more usable with that higher DPI. So I definitely recommend doing that. Overall, for its price, you're getting stellar performance. That's very hard to beat. Considering you're getting performance very similar to the M Gears or the Rocket Q for roughly around £100 less, that's actually quite a bargain and is very competitive. If you're considering a 6225 chipset or a 6125, definitely consider this AI box with its 6350 chipset, because you are going to get much better performance. The Android 15 operating system is going to improve the types of applications that you can download onto it, and generally bang for buck is definitely one to look out for. Alright, I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, please leave us a like down below and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the Carlinkit Tbox Ultra, and I try my best to answer them. I'm still waiting for the R7 from Brooks, unfortunately, which has the same chipset, and it's probably likely that I'll be checking it out in the new year. If you like this content and you'd like to support me, you can do so by sending us a super thanks down below, along with your comment or question. You can click that hype button and help raise this video in other people's feeds, or you can check out my QR code up here to buy me a coffee, and you can support me there too. I really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.